Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. On the surface, God of War may have come across as just another hack and slash game to add to the ever-expanding list of other games in the same genre. But it stood out because it dressed up its hack and slash action with an incredible story and characters. If you want to play a game like God of War, this list may help you find a game to scratch that itch. Tell me your opinion about these games in comments, and if you like my content, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Dead Cells may seem very different from God of War. It's a two-dimensional side-scrolling game that doesn't have any relation to Greek mythology. However, this style was also employed for the mobile game God of War Betrayal, so there is some crossover in that regard. Dead Cells really exemplifies what a hack and slash side-scroller would be like. Its action is intense, fast-paced and crazy, the same way that God of War can be. Add in various RPG elements and Dead Cells is definitive. One doesn't have to dig too deep to see how Assassin's Creed Odyssey could appeal to God of War fans. From a gameplay standpoint, the two games are extremely different. Not even their fighting styles are the same. Still, the game is an opportunity for God of War fans to revisit ancient Greece. While the main game itself doesn't feature ancient Greek gods and supernatural creatures, there are side quests and DLC storylines that can deliver fans right back into the world of Greek myth and legends. Although there are many similarities between ancient Greece and ancient Rome, they are two different cultures, and so the stories and styles of their histories may differ. Still, they are close enough that God of War fans may find something to like about Ryse, Son of Rome. The game takes a much different approach to its fighting, but the game is brutal and raw in a way that can resonate with a lot of God of War fans. Also, its narrative is level-based, similar to God of War. Too Human is a game that may have flown under the radar of many gamers. Its gameplay has a similar hack and slash feel to it that God of War has, but it takes a much more futuristic approach in its story. However, the game firmly roots itself in Norse mythology, as the characters embody futuristic versions of the famous gods. While God of War has no problem keeping its gods in the ancient world, the fact that the game's newest installments deal with Norse mythology makes Too Human appealing.
She's beautiful.
Target damage, still functioning. Your lucky day, pal.
Does anyone mind if I cut in? Wouldn't want to step on anyone's toes.
A lot of times God of War's hack and slash action can get so crazy it's hard for players to keep up with the various enemies they are fighting and the weapons they are throwing around. However, Bayonetta can get much more insane than that. It doesn't have any of the ancient Greek mythology that God of War has. It focuses on biblical mythology instead. Still, that kind of wild and crazy supernatural action, it's just the type of thing that God of War fans will love.
Do it.
Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is another game that has no direct connection to God of War. They occupy two different genres and take place in two different time periods. However, the fast-paced sword-fighting style of Revengeance can appeal to fans that enjoy flinging Kratos blades around at high speeds. It also helps that both games are connected to Sony and are part of long-standing franchises with very strong fan bases. Even though it deserves a sequel, Revengeance is way different from the other Metal Gear games, but it is still an opportunity to be introduced to that world. Darksiders is a game that has a very similar action style to God of War. This game has an open-world approach to its story and it's not a non-linear sandbox style. The player has a very clear path to follow, and it's hard to deviate from that line too much. But aside from the gameplay, Darksiders mythology is heavily rooted in the supernatural in the same way that God of War is for the Greek gods. Players may find that the experience for Castlevania is very similar to that of God of War. Both games have very long linear campaigns that feature hack-and-slash action. Plus, there are power-ups to be found along the way that increase health, strength, and abilities. The main differences are pretty much window dressing. God of War focuses on the ancient world in Greek mythology, while Castlevania's long list of games focuses much more on the Middle Ages and vampires, occasionally mixing with the modern age and science fiction.
Gabriel, take this!
In many ways, Dante's Inferno is a direct rip-off of God of War. The action is nearly identical, as is the level structure, which has the fictional Dante from the Divine Comedy descending into hell. The player even has to collect power-ups similar to how they work in God of War. However, the art and character design for Dante's Inferno is so compelling that it's hard not to be impressed by it. It takes a true horrific approach to hell and biblical mythology that other games fail to match. In terms of the hack-and-slash genre, it's hard to find a franchise that rivals God of War in popularity more than Devil May Cry. It is a series that draws its foundation from biblical mythology, but it definitely carves its own path in terms of its characters and story. Even its protagonist, Dante, has a fan base that rivals Kratos. When a new game is released, Capcom fans of Devil May Cry are there from day one, just like God of War. So it's a no-brainer that Devil May Cry can also appeal to them.
Go to hell! Scrap! Wreck it! Wreck it! Wreck it!